Roaming Roosters started in 2009. We began just farming free range chickens, which is sort of where the name began from. I quickly noticed there was a want and a need for sort of sustainably produced food, and food with ethics behind it. People knew the source, people knew what it had been eating, where it had come from, how it had been looked after. So we decided to build a website, which was roamingroosters.co.uk, to try and trade nationally, but also just open up our product range a little bit, which is the sort of time when we began to bring other farmers on board and also farm a little more ourselves. We now offer an online shopping service, a farm shop, bistro, and an education centre where we can teach kids about sustainable farming. Our chicks come to us at 1 day old. They go into our brooding room, which is powered by our biomass boiler with underfloor heating to keep them warm. They stop in there for around 28 days depending on the season. It could be 21 days through summer, it could be slightly longer through winter, to the point where we bring them off heat. After they come off heat, they then stop in the building for between 1 and 2 weeks, again depending on the season where we are. This just hardens them up and gets them to feather properly before they go outside into the fields. Martin Lee was the first farmer that we got involved with at Roaming Roosters. The relationship between me and my dad went on for 10 or 15 years before we got involved with him, so it made sense to carry that relationship on. He understands the product that we need, and we understand that we can trust him and ensure that what we ask for is what we get.
Every day we tend to stop, we go around them all, checking the sheep and the cattle for health and making sure that they're growing correctly and just manage them that way really. The breeds they use are Aberdeen Angus cross because of the ability to graze on this green land and convert the grass into meat. The Continental gives them the conformation and speeds them up a little bit.
We got involved with Graham as we grew bigger. Martin couldn't keep supplying everything that we needed, and Graham being only 3 or 4 miles away and having a sheep flock of 400 and about 50 breeding cattle, we saw him as the next step to tie into.
Our relationship with Roaming Roosters is very good. It goes back a lot farther than Roaming Roosters itself. When Mr Mellin had his own butcher's shop in the local town, we used to supply him direct. But now it's Roaming Roosters, they're taking bigger volumes of livestock. The native breeds are probably a little bit easier to farm off our farming system because they don't need boating concentrates to fatten them. The native breeds can fatten off the land naturally without being pushed, so it takes a little bit longer for them to mature, but it's not costing us the same to get them to the end result. So we're trying to just mix some of the native breeds with a little bit of continental cross breeding, just to get a little bit more conformation to make it a better product.
Mick Holmes is another farmer that we now deal with through our growth to pull more farmers on board. He breeds Aberdeen Angus cattle and also Lonk sheep. Lonk are a traditional Lancashire breed, so one of the oldest Lancashire breeds, so I think it's important that we support them. David Nutter helps us with our pig farming. We just breed the pigs on our own farm, and then once the pigs are weaned from the mothers, they go to David's to be fed. We also now work with Richard Clues from Abigail Farm in Blackwell. He breeds water buffalo and red poll cattle. All our water buffalo that we sell through the website and through the shop comes from Richard.
We've been supplying Roaming Roosters now for the last 2 to 3 years with all our cattle. We find them a great sort of team to work with. They're very cooperative. We can ring them up and say we've got cattle ready. They'll take them at a short notice. They'll take them in 1s or 2s, and we're just really pleased with the service we get and the presentation of our meats. And after all, it's our meat they're endorsing, and through the shop, it sort of really impresses us.
Roaming Roosters is run by myself and my brother Nick. Nick's sort of the master butcher behind Roaming Roosters. So even though he's only 24, he has a good 15 years experience as a butcher, so for his age he's highly skilled. He manages the product, ensures that everything's up to scratch, and also helps train the up and coming butchers that we're bringing through to help us expand and keep the product level at the same place as where it is today.
My job is to control all the meat coming through Roaming Roosters, which is currently beef, pork, lamb, chicken, buffalo and venison. We specialise here in traditional butchery, which helps us sell the whole carcass. It's when you're selling to customers, there's a demand, and you've got to meet that and keep the quality at its highest standard.
Our main goal at Roaming Roosters is to make sustainable food accessible and affordable to everybody nationwide. Our motto is food that makes you feel good. It tastes good. we support sustainable farming and support the local farming and British farming community. We support traditional butchery methods, and we teach traditional butchery to new up and coming apprentice to keep the product at the best quality it can be.